Hello, and welcome back to the Alexander Society podcast. We're back with our final mystery docket of the year, and possibly the last main episode of the year. I'm your host, Tim, who has had his head photoshopped one too many times, and with me today is my best friend and co-host, Derek, who will never be able to look at a vacuum-sealed bag the same way ever again.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What are you talking? Photoshopped? What do you mean? Tim, what is this topic?
You're gonna see what happens when you break Rule 0 of the internet.
Rule 0. Remind me what Rule 0 is. I can only remember the other one.
Don't fuck with cats.
Don't fuck with cats?
Yes.
Okay.
So how are you doing, best buddy?
Well, I'm just befuddled off of that. It was no Slender Man senpai, but it's got me rattled over here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I am pretty damn tired. My sleep schedule is all fucked up, and I've got stuff starting on a new job that I had to do today, and I had to get up super early, and so I only got like 4 hours of sleep. So yeah, I kind of feel fucking woozy today.
It be like that sometimes.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good dealing with, the world in its current state it is. You ready to talk about murder and cat murder?
Oh, God, dude, man. You're going to make me sad, aren't you?
Probably. What are you drinking tonight, brother?
Oh, what am I drinking tonight? For my shots, I've got some Texas Ranger blended whiskey, 1823, 40%. Nice whiskey with just a little bit of sweetness to it that I really like, being a rum man and all. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I went and got one of what is quickly becoming one of my favorite beers, which is Bricktown Brewery Bluesberry Ale. This stuff slaps so fucking hard. It's just a regular like light ale that's brewed with blueberries. So it tastes like an ale with like fresh blueberries in it. It's fucking fantastic. Bricktown Brewery, brewed in McAllister, Oklahoma. This is a 4.7%. And also, if you go to one of the restaurants, one of the Bricktown Brewery restaurants, and you get this on tap, they actually put like actual fresh blueberries in the drink. And so by the time you finish the pint, you got a bunch of little ale flavored blueberries at the bottom that taste fantastic. It's a lovely experience. I love this stuff so much. It's very nice, refreshing. It's a little bit of happiness in these troubled times. Anyways, Tim, what are you drinking?
So tonight I'm having Dulce Vita Lime, 100% agave. It's 35%. It's one of those that as time has gone on, I actually like it less and less, but it's what I got right now. It starts out like tasting like it's going to be really good lime flavored tequila, and then it just like immediately tastes like shit tier tequila. Tonight I'm having another wonderful concoction from our friends at Anthem called Pamela. It's called a sparkling cocktail is what they call it. It is 9% alcohol, and they describe it as a refreshing mix of grapefruit and lime, balanced by the aroma of agave and tequila barrels. So Derek, you ready for your shot, and are you ready to hear about some murder?
Yeah, did you want to do any rules, or we just...
I am confident this is going to be one of those episodes that's so bad you're just calling random shots.
Oof. Okay. Once the cat murder gets to a certain point, we're gonna start throwing them back.
I am certain.
Prost.
Cheers. So you were telling me you don't know anything about today's subject off the air, anything like that.
Yeah, you mentioned the name and you mentioned a little bit. Now that I think about it, I remember hearing some stories like way back when about, because I know that 4chan liked to go after like animal abusers would post the shit they were doing on 4chan to try to seem edgy, and then they'd geolocate the fucker and get him arrested. I know that's a story I'm vaguely familiar with. I don't know if that's what we're talking about, but
that's not this specific instance, but it's a very akin to today's story.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the name that you mentioned, and I'm not familiar with the topic.
So today's story was actually covered by Netflix in a very famous documentary called Don't Fuck with Cats.
Ooh, I like that as a name for a documentary.
It's the actual name. They didn't. So today's subject was born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman.
Oh man, we're talking about a German.
I don't know about his history, but that's what he was born as.
Yeah, that's an aggressively German name.
Now that I look at him, his face screams German. I am going to send you his mugshot real quick, Derek. He looks like a wannabe white supremacist to me.
Oh boy. Yeah, he looks like he looks like he's getting out in the streets for AFD for sure. Man, that's unfortunate. You know what AFD is? Alternative für Deutschland. It's the AFD is like a modern party in Germany. They're the main like far right party in Germany.
Okay, so this fucker is someone who changed his name. You want to guess what he changed his name to?
It's either something I can't remember what you said it was. It was something really edgy though, wasn't it?
It is very edgy. It's Luka Magnotta.
Oh, what a fucking dweeb! Holy shit! He's not even like one of the tough looking like bodybuilding sort of freak.
He's full twink.
He looks like a twink that smells like piss.
Yes.
A a a twink trying to be a Chad.
Yes. You don't know how fucking on point you are with that term. He was born July 24th, 1982 in Scarborough, Ontario.
Okay. Once again, the Canadians being nothing but a hindrance on the human race.
He is the oldest of 3 children. He claims that this is just his claims. And keep in mind, he's the kind of person that will just say shit to say shit. And I don't mean like in the Eli way, but like whatever will make him sound like the most popular person he can be.
Ah, yeah.
He's one of them people. He claims his mother was obsessed with cleanliness to the point that him and his siblings didn't dirty up the house. They would just get locked out of the house.
Oh, what a shitty. Okay, yeah, that's just child abuse, actually.
I mean, it's even worse when she puts the pet rabbit outside to freeze to death.
Oh, is that okay? So it's a bit of an inherited trait. This whole animal abuse thing.
Possibly, very possibly. In '94, his dad was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Man, this kid did not. He didn't have a chance, did he?
No, he's at that point in time he's 12.
Ooh, man. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna start this story out by making him sympathetic before we just tear all that down.
Honestly, I just bullet pointed his like childhood a little bit pre into this. And I wasn't even trying to make him sound sympathetic.
Oh yeah, but like,
shortly after that, his father divorces his mother, and he has to move in with his grandmother.
yeah, we're just hitting like a good chunk of the key points of like a future serial killer, aren't we?
I mean, it's been disproven, but you remember the serial killer triangle?
Yeah, obsession with fire, pet mutilation, and bedwetting.
Well, that has been disproven. It's scary how often it pops up. And, like, we've only got one of the triangle, but this guy looks like he pissed the bed till he was, like, 12.
Oh, no doubt this guy pissed the bed. Especially with a childhood like that. That's a bedwetter's childhood.
6 years later, guess what happens?
Besides turning 18?
At 18, he is also diagnosed schizophrenic.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, I figured this guy was either going to end up schizophrenic or a psychopath.
3 years later, he starts doing gay porn.
I knew there was a look to his mugshot that I couldn't quite get a pin on exactly what the vibes were, but I knew they were familiar. I'd seen vibes like that before. Gay porn star is 100% what I'm looking at right now.
Actually, he like when this all came out about what he ends up doing and all that, it's made a big deal that he was a gay porn star, whatever. He appeared in less than like 12 films over like 5 years.
Yeah, that's most porn stars, actually. They don't do a lot. They don't have like extensive careers.
I feel like that was the 2000s / early 2010s. I feel like it's not the case anymore.
Yeah, I guess now with like social media, you can be a little more robust in your like market as a porn celebrity. But yeah, back then, that's about right.
Prior to our main story, he got in trouble with the law before this. He had 1 count of impersonation and 3 counts of fraud.
You know, okay, the more puzzle pieces you add, the more I realize that this guy, okay, when does this guy go away?
2012.
Okay. Was he still in prison by 2016?
He is still in prison and will rot till at least 2039, I think. No, so notes say, I don't know what, he's day parole eligible and 34, full parole 37. That must be some kind of weird Canadian thing. I don't know the difference.
Okay, yeah, if he had been out of prison and a free man in 2016, he would have become like a hardcore MAGA influencer.
What was his name? That one twink that was super big for Trump and then just disappeared from the internet.
Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah, he's actually he did.
He would have been like him and Milo Yiannopoulos would have been like twin rising twink stars.
Yeah, Milo didn't disappear. He in the last few years he's been desperate to try to claw back his fame, but people just stopped paying attention to him.
Well, that's what I meant. Like he just like lost his popularity. I didn't mean like he went anywhere.
Yeah. Recently he came out and said that he is no longer gay. He went and did conversion therapy, and now he's a born again Christian.
Sure, because we all know conversion therapy works.
And that did not work to save his online career.
So his next like only real notoriety before we really get in today's story was that he took advantage of a mentally disabled woman, both financially and sexually.
Oh, that sucks.
He convinced her to take out credit cards and max them out for over $10,000.
Nope, don't.
When he was taken to court over this, he also had charges of sexual assault. Unfortunately, those charges were dropped. He had to have assaulted her, though. Like, she's mentally disabled. I don't know why they dropped the charges, but, like, there's no fucking way. He didn't.
Yeah, I can see it in his eyes.
He is a keyboard warrior, like hard keyboard warrior. I was talking earlier about in the intro, hey, head's been photoshopped too many times. He treated like creating an online internet celebrity as like his second 80-hour job or whatever the fuck you want to say he did. If you sat down and looked into Luka Magnotta at that time, you would have found hundreds, if not thousands of photos that claimed to be him, but were all photoshopped, I think, by him. It never directly links him to the photoshopping, but like he was running all the accounts that had the Photoshop profiles. So like,
wait, were they like photoshops of like his face on other people's bodies, or like
it was like taking his head and transplanting it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. That's really good.
So I mentioned he was a keyboard warrior. So you want to guess how many Facebook pages and how many websites he created to inflate his own celebrity?
Facebook, 75 websites, like 15.
You're fucking close with both. Take the 5 off of your Facebook and add it to your websites.
70, 20? Ooh, okay.
He had 70 Facebook pages and 20 websites, all dedicated to trying to inflate his own like sense of celebrity and self-worth and importance on the internet.
Man, if we could just steal this guy's self-confidence and give it to everybody who thinks they're ugly on the internet, we could solve like half the world's problems.
We would change we would be in the fucking stars in 2 weeks if we could distill that shit.
Oh yeah, if we could just give every like timid trans person on Twitter like just a fraction of this guy's self-confidence, and we live in a utopia in like 15 years.
For real. You want to know what crazy malimey concoction he came up with to conflate his own celebrity on the internet?
No idea.
He started a rumor he was dating Karla Homolka. Do you know who that is?
Not familiar, actually. Would I recognize her?
She is the Barbie of the Ken and Barbie killers in Canada. Basically, they went and picked up women, and together they like abused, tortured, and killed them. That's simple down and...
Okay.
I forgot to mention this earlier, but obviously he's always trying to inflate his own celebrity, his self-worth, his self-ego. He definitely had plastic surgery. Like, he admits it multiple times. Like, there's a famous time where he's interviewing for some TV show, and he's like, well, I've had nose work, jaw work. I'm thinking about getting muscle, those fake muscle implants.
Yeah, these guys, it starts there, and in the end, they either mutilate a bunch of cats or they get plastic surgery to make themselves look Korean. There's just no in between. Yeah, you know who Ollie London is, right?
I think I've seen him. I don't think I've ever heard his name before now. I have a distinct picture in my head of who you're talking about.
Yeah, he got a bunch of plastic surgery. He really liked K-pop, and so he convinced himself that he was transracial and was actually a Korean in a white man's body. And so he got a bunch of plastic surgery to look more Korean, and now he's an anti-trans influencer.
When he was facing sentencing for his manipulation of the mentally disabled girl, the court noted that he had significant psychotic episodes when he did not take his medicine, and he did not take his medicine often.
God, can you imagine having a conversation with this guy? What a mind fuck that would be.
I would need to be fucking high off my kite to talk to this man.
Oh yeah, I'd need to be huffing helium for fucking weeks afterwards just to be able to comprehend it.
Do you remember the yesteryear of YouTube when all kinds of insane shit got uploaded where you could see murder, stuff like that?
Ah, yes, the golden age.
Well, in 2010, Magnotta posted One Boy, Two Kittens.
Oh man, what an awful, terrible title for a video.
I'm going to just bull rush the kitten mutilation, all three, because I do not want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but it is a significant part of today's story. So I'm bull rushing the descriptions. So he uploads his first video, One Boy, Two Kittens, where he starts off the video loving on two kittens, and then puts them into a vacuum bag and suffocates them by vacuum out the air.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, let's shoot.
Can we wait till I get through all of the kitten murders?
Yeah, let's just do it over all at once.
Then he uploads a video where he tapes a cat to a broom and drowns it in a bathtub. He also has a third. There are 4 videos I've been told about. I don't know if the 4th one is him, but it was a part of the Don't Fuck With Cats documentary, so I'm going to bring it up as the 4th one. The 3rd one, he feeds a cat to a python.
Oh, man.
And from what I understand, all of these weren't full-grown cats. These were kittens. These were...
Yeah. Probably found a litter on the side of the road and got this fucking bright idea.
And then the 4th video, which again, I don't know if it was Luka on the 4th one for sure, they pour gasoline on a caged cat and light it on fire. And with that, cheers, because I need some...
Man, this sucks.
This is why I wanted to bull rush those, because I did not want to actually go into real detail and have to talk about that, then go into the in-between and all that.
Oh, I can't imagine doing that to a cat, dude. I can't imagine what has to be going through your head to do that.
So following the upload of One Boy, Two Kittens, a Facebook group forms.
Oh, the Avenging Neckbeards.
There are no neckbeards shown in the documentary, but I would not be surprised. They open up a private Facebook group dedicated to finding Luka. And they are going at it. Like, they're actually using real, like, genuinely intriguing techniques to trying to find him, because he was playing a game with them when he uploaded this. Like, he knew people were going to analyze it. That, or he just fucks with everyone.
Yeah, he strikes me as a guy who's familiar with how the internet reacts to stuff like this.
So, as a red herring, he puts on a Russian TV show.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
And it took them forever, but someone in the group who was actually Ukrainian recognized that it was Russian, and they were able to identify even what show it was from. I don't remember what show it was. It wasn't like that big of a point, but they were able to find it.
Yeah.
They literally decided to export the video to all the frame. They literally went frame by frame through this video.
Yeah.
They started looking at the wall sockets. They started looking at the blanket, because there's a very distinct blanket in this, and they find out only one had ever been sold on eBay, because they tracked it down to eBay, and it was in North America. They saw that there was some cigarettes, and they were North American cigarettes, and they had to have been North American. That said, again, they very smartly bring up, that doesn't mean that they committed their crime in North America. They could have been in America, picked up a pack of cigs, then hopped a plane.
Right, yeah.
That kind of specifics was actually brought up. And then...
yeah, but the outlet thing, outlets are pretty, region specific.
Yes, it is.
So I imagine.
Yeah. Then...
I imagine that's probably one of the things that gets them.
They actually start looking at a vacuum, the vacuum he used. And they find out it was only sold in North America. So they're solidly... They can't narrow him down, but they know He's in North America, or at least he's North American.
Right.
And then, do you remember this relic of reality TV show, Ink Rescue?
Did you say Ink Rescue?
So I was talking about Ink Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about a bunch of, let me just look at the actual wiki page. Ink Rescue Unleashed, a reality television series that premiered in September of 2009 on National Geographic, Long Island-based animal welfare rescue called Ink Rescue. Basically, they were tattooed motorcyclers that fought against animal cruelty, and they got 6 episodes.
Sorry, the way you said that, your Country Oklahoma hit came out.
I heard it, but I was hoping we could move past it.
Yeah, some tattooed motorcyclers.
I was hoping to move past it, but fuck you, okay. All right, then. So eventually Ink Rescue got involved, and they offered a $5,000 reward when they were looking for Luka. And during this time, Luka is just fucking with the group. Like, he's infiltrated the group somehow. I don't fucking know how, but he did.
Oh, yeah, I imagine it wasn't that hard. It was just using a fake Facebook.
Nah, it was a Facebook group. It was
a lot easier now that we have like AI pictures and stuff.
He posted a, like, you know, pay me like your French girl picture of himself where his face was blurred out with a Christmas hat on. And that's what they did to offer the $5,000 reward for someone who found him, is they just threw that on, like, you know, the normal wanted bounty poster kind of shit.
Yeah, isn't it possible to reverse that blurring, though?
They did reverse image search it, and they came up to land that photo on a pseudonym for Luka, but it gave them that, and then it led them to a troll that was in the group who was not Luka, Jamie Rams's ass or something like that. I can't remember the name. But basically, it was a joke on shoving shit up your ass.
Oh, classic. Oh, I miss like 2008 internet trolling. 2010, 2012. Golden age of trolling. They don't make them like that anymore. Everybody's so serious now.
So that guy actually ended up being a depressed man who ends up being falsely identified. Like, they actually like do all this tracking and track it back to this account, Jammy or whatever. I can't remember the exact joke, but it was something to do with just having stuff up your ass. They find the Facebook profile associated with the guy, I think the real Facebook profile. This guy was already struggling with his depression, so he was also a keyboard warrior, because obviously he's trolling. He's like at that time at troll, and this is where the video of the burning the cat alive, the gasoline video comes from, and that's why I don't know if it is part of Luka's or not. After they identify it as this guy, they track it to some country no one's ever heard of initially or whatever. No, it's some. It doesn't even sound like a real fucking word. I don't think they even say it in the documentary, because I don't remember them saying the country out loud in the documentary. But I wasn't fully paying attention when I watched the documentary again last night.
Well, it should be like Moldova or something.
No, it's got like Q and some bullshit in it. Like, it's like.
Hold on, I need to look this shit up, actually.
Nah, I pulled up that.
Now, because you mentioned something having to do with geography, and now I'm curious.
The fucking Wikipedia page doesn't have enough information on.
Was it Azerbaijan by chance?
No, this is like no country I've heard of before.
Oh, it's frustrating because I'm sure that I've heard of it.
Like, I've heard of a bunch of countries. I had never heard of that country before.
Well, now my curiosity is piqued, and I'll never get satisfaction.
You're going to, like, finally watch it, and you don't even mean to watch it, and they're going to text you, that's a fucking country that everyone's heard of, you dumbass.
Yeah, like this and this and this happened there that was, like, really extremely historically important. How do you not know about this?
They literally talk about how no one's heard of the country in the fucking documentary, so. So, like I said, Lucas, no, crap. So, like, they track down the country, and it actually turns out to not be that country, and it's just some American troll guy, and he he was already like before all this happened, like his family reports that he was depressed, and then they track it down to him, and they just start the internet starts like just dogpiling him.
The internet does what the internet does.
And it's unsure if the internet dogpiling is what led to him taking his own life, but he did take his own life. Like, he was already struggling before this happened. That is a given fact.
Yeah, we did it, Reddit. We did it, Reddit. Actually, that was around. Well, okay, yeah, this was 2008, right?
This is 2010s to 2012. Like, this is taking place between that like time period.
Okay, then yeah, this would have been around the same time of like we did it, Reddit, because 2012 was when the Boston bombing was.
And the main people that are like interviewed in the documentary, kind of, I don't know if this is them revising history, because it probably actually is. Like, you're part of that. They said that it didn't make sense when they identified the person as, I think his name was Ed or Eric, one of the two, who ended up taking his own life. Didn't fit right just because it just didn't seem, the pieces didn't fit for them is what they claim in the documentary. But the stuff still continues. It goes on. And Luka is still trolling the group. In fact, at a certain point, Luka actually gives him his goddamn name.
His real name.
His name changed to Luka Magnotta, yes. But
his legal name.
Yes. When I talked about it at the beginning of the episode, he legally changed his name. It's not like he just had a pseudonym he went by.
Oh God, what a fucking dweeb. I'm sorry, but like even if you've got a shitty name, like if you legally change your name for a reason that doesn't have to do with like either transition or getting married or something like that, you're just a fucking dweeb.
We've talked about Luka tormenting the group that's trying to hunt him down, and he gives out his name to them. They contact law enforcement. I don't know if this is before or after his escalation into the deep end, but they do eventually like trying to get a hold of law enforcement. Like, hey, this fucker lives there. Like they track him down. Like they find that he lives in Canada still. All that bullshit. But on May 25th, 2012, Luka uploads an 11-minute video. I'm not going to tell you the title of the video, but I'm going to tell you where it was uploaded. You're going to fucking cringe. It's called bestgore.com.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
You've what?
Yeah. I was severely depressed in high school. And that website was one of the few places that made me feel anything.
God damn, Derek.
Yeah, I'm letting you in on some real deep shit about my past.
We've talked about this, but I didn't know you've been to that specific one.
Oh, yeah.
So he uploaded an 11-minute video entitled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick."
I don't like that title.
I don't either. Yes. It depicts a naked male, later identified as the victim. I'm going to wait on his name in a little bit. Tied down to a bed, being repeatedly stabbed by what appears to be an ice pick, later identified as a screwdriver.
Oh, fucking asshole. Couldn't even get the right. God damn it. Man, I was about to make some fucking sick Trotsky jokes, and now I just can't do it.
That or No Country for Old Men joke.
I haven't seen No Country. Caitlin keeps trying to get me to watch that. I really should, but I haven't had a chance yet.
Then the video depicts the body being dismembered, followed by acts of necrophilia. Doesn't specify the necrophilia, other than a severed arm is used for masturbation.
Wow, this guy is weird.
Yes.
I don't know what other word I can use to describe this guy, but he's fucking weird.
He's like that guy who tries to be cringe, so he gets the cringe attention, but he doesn't realize how that cringe is bad.
Right, yeah.
He's not like my kind of cringe where like I'm not intending to be cringe, but it's kind of funny sometimes. It's kind of not sometimes, but like it's just me being my genuine self. This is the guy who leans into cringe, not realizing cringe is bad, and just like tries to go for the most extreme. Like he's like almost like Eli, only like not near. Like it's like if you gave Eli like a cubed. Like Eli cubed.
Ugh. I don't like that.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I get exactly the vibe you're going for.
Um, he edited this video with various clips and included still photos. During the video, he adds the 1984 New Order song True Faith playing in the background. It's an 11-minute video where he uses a screwdriver as his ice pick, and then he dismembers the victim. He takes the knife to cut off some of the flesh and feeds it to a dog. More animal abuse.
Don't do that to the dog. Don't get the dog involved. Don't get the dog involved. Don't get the fucking dog involved, you piece of shit. Oh my god.
He already killed fucking 4 kittens confirmed, if not 5.
Yeah, okay. But in that situation, the kittens were victims. In this situation, okay, the dog might act.
The dog is a victim too. Don't fuck with me.
The dog is a victim too, but he's trying to make the dog an accomplice, which is, I don't know. There's something about that in my brain that just makes that so much more fucked up.
So it was later established that the Canadian authorities got a hold of a extended version of the video, and that he may have committed cannibalism.
Not surprising. Unfortunate, but not surprising. I like how the cannibalism is the least shocking thing about this.
Unfortunately, it later comes out that the murder of the victim was not actually in this video. When the video starts, he's already deceased via slit throat. Pussy, if you're going to do all this shit...
Oh, what a fucking...
If you're going to do this shit, at least make sure the victim's alive.
Fucking pussy shit.
I'm going to fact check you on that. When did the first GoPro?
Yeah, because they had GoPros at this point. He could have just had a GoPro on when he did it.
Holy fuck! The original GoPro is 04. What the fuck?
I remember watching GoPro videos by around 2011, 2012.
I thought GoPro was like 2015 and since. What the fuck?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know which movie. It could be a billion different movies. I do not know which one you're talking about.
2015. I think 2015 was around the time that movie came out. That they recorded exclusively in a first-person view of the protagonist. And it was like an action movie, and they recorded it all with a GoPro. Yeah, there was it wasn't like a major publisher sort of movie. It was just kind of spread on the internet, but it was a feature-length action movie that was recorded entirely in the first-person view of the protagonist on a GoPro. It was sick as fuck.
I don't know which movie. It could be a billion different movies. I do not know which one you're talking about. I did not know that apparently he sent out materials promoting the video 10 days before the murder took place. Again, this is Wikipedia. Don't take this as scripture, but holy fuck. We already knew he was a showman.
Ooh, he's a showman. Yeah, he could have had a prolific career in Hollywood. He's got the personality for it.
I fucking hate you for that comment.
Man, he would have made some sick fucking shows on Nickelodeon, I swear to God. You know, actually, if he had been involved in Hollywood, he probably would have turned out better. Because all he would have been interested in was children's feet instead of murdering people.
God damn it, Derek. The deep cuts tonight. Fuck, what was his name? I can't remember. Dan Schneider. Fucking the Dan Schneider references tonight. Fuck.
Man, I am actually drunk right now.
So, part of the Don't Fuck With Cats documentary talks about how... No, fuck. I watched a couple YouTube videos. Let me see if I can't find who I used on this. So, I watched the CBS News Hunting Luka Magnotta, the Fifth Estate video, the case of Luka Magnotta, that chapter video as well. So those are the two YouTube videos I used primarily for this. outside of the Don't Fuck with Cats for my research. But during, I can't remember which video mentioned it, but right after the murders, like they were able to check on CCTV, he just dumps a lot of shit, not the body, but like a lot of shit in the trash cans. Like he makes like four to eight trips to the trash cans. I can't remember exactly how many, but like he made a lot of trips to the trash can. Like even if you didn't have everything that eventually tied him to the murders, like a suspicious amount of trips to the trash can that night.
Yeah, there is a certain level where, like, when your neighbors see you taking stuff out to the trash can a certain number of times, after that, like, they start to get suspicious. Like, either you're doing some spring cleaning in your apartment, or you've just committed a murder, and there's like really no other option.
There's absolutely no in between. So the day after he uploads the video to Best Gore, it's reported both by like an attorney. An attorney reports from Montana reports it to Toronto, his local sheriff, and the FBI, but it's dismissed. Best Gore viewers also attempted to report the video. Police later confirm its authentication and later identify the victim as an Asian male. Our victim's name is Jun Lee. He was a Chinese university student. He was born December 30th, 1978. He had come to Canada in 2010, starting a new life and studying computer engineering.
Man, we have a friend who is a foreign, like, yeah, Jeff is an immigrant to the United States and specifically came here to study in college. And man, he looks so cool too. Like, I would have liked hanging out with this guy. It was 2012. That's Yeah, that's the haircut of a guy who I would have had fun hanging out with in 2012. What the fuck, man? But yeah, we have a friend who came to the United States as an international student.
He's an international student currently because even though he got his degrees, our work system fucked him over, so he had to go back to college in order to stay in the country.
Yeah, fuck our whole immigration system. But real shit, like, don't send your kids to the United States to study. Because this shit is going to happen to them. Like, I keep hearing shit about, like, victims of murders or assaults and shit like that. And it turns out they're like, foreign students. And, like, can you fucking imagine, like, your kid goes to the United States to study at, like, an elite American university or some shit, and you get a call from, like, a bumfuck middle of nowhere police station saying, like, yeah, sorry, your kid fucking got murdered by some psychopath on the internet. God, fuck. Don't send your kids to study in the United States. Holy shit.
So he was born December 30th, 1978, like I mentioned, and he came to Canada in 2010 with the intention of starting a new life here. He was studying computer engineering. In 2012, he was registered as an international student. In 2012, he was registered as an international student and an undergraduate in engineering and computer science faculty at Concordia. I have no idea how. CONCORDIA. Concordia University in Montreal, Quebec. He had been studying there since July of 2011. He previously went to Tark College as a language school and worked part-time at a convenience store in Point St. Charles.
Oh, man. This sucks. This guy was cool, man.
The month he was murdered, he moved to Griffithtown area with a roommate on May 1st.
He had been there less than a month. Holy shit.
At some point, he had been married to a woman, but they divorced. No information on her. In Canada, he lived with another Chinese man, but he never revealed to his family his sexual orientation. Junlin was gay, at least from what we know. Everything that we've been like pointed in his story that he was gay. I know Luka is bi from everything we've known. And because Junlin is dead, we don't know if maybe he any details on his orientation other than he liked men.
Oh, he looks so cool too, man. Like walk up to this guy and be like, "Hey, can I tell you about some Warhammer?" No, he wouldn't have been.
I don't know if he would have been Warhammer, but I feel like he would have had some really niche nerd knowledge that if you were friends with him, you would have fucking enjoyed listening to him talk nerd out about.
No, man, this guy was either into like hardcore into like European soccer clubs, like football clubs, or he was really into like trains. Like,
He never told his family in China that he was gay, even though that he had met one of his previous boyfriends. Right before his murder, he had just exited a relationship. His relationship ended because his family was pressuring him to settle down and marry a woman. After his breakup, he had been using Grindr to meet other men. He also apparently used Craigslist because we all know Craigslist sex is fucking safe as fuck. Lynn had responded to Luka's Craigslist ad proposing sex and bondage.
oh yeah, rest in peace, Craigslist sex. Yeah, did you? Yeah, yeah. Did you know that Craigslist doesn't do classifieds anymore?
What? What the fuck do they do now?
They're just for like selling shit. Like,
That's the same thing as classifieds.
well, they got rid of like the personals page because they didn't want to get after the that legislation that cracked down on sex work. They didn't want to risk it.
That feels like fucking semantics. It just feels like semantics.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of code that you can like kind of wrap into a post about like, yeah, I'm trying to sell this chainsaw that you could feasibly make into like a, yeah, I'm looking for gay sex.
So Lynn was last seen on May 24th, 2012. And the last text that he's known to have sent was at 9 p.m. So we're not sure if he was murdered on the 24th or the 25th when the video was uploaded. But there, on the 29th, he was reported missing. Friends looked in his apartment on the 27th. The last images seen of like the last like security footage that were caught of Lynn, Juan Lynn was on the 24th. And it shows Lynn entering the apartment building where Magnotta lived.
God, I hate this guy. God, he's such a fucking skeezy piece of shit.
Like, without knowing, like, if I just saw Luka's photo, I would just see someone who looks like a piece of shit to me. Like, I can't, like, fully express in words every reason why I would hate Luka, but I could just, like, instinctually tell that he's a piece of shit human being just by looking at specifically the one I sent you, his mugshot, tell that he's not a good human being. So I mentioned earlier in the podcast that the night of the murder, Luka visits his trash can like a ridiculous amount of time. Well, several hours after the killing, he books a round-trip flight from Montreal to Paris.
Yeah, because that's where all degenerates eventually end up, is Paris.
4 days after the video on bestscore.com is posted, a package containing a singular left foot was delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada.
What the fuck? What? What is he sending a fucking foot to the Tories for? What are they gonna do with it? I mean, I know that those.
I don't know. It was stained with blood, had a foul smell, and was marked with a red heart symbol.
I mean, I know those fucking freaks and the Tories would get off to it, but what the fuck is wrong?
I don't think he had a hatred. Like, I don't think he discerned left from right. Another package containing the left hand was intercepted by Canada Post, addressed to the Liberal Party. Day of the video upload, a janitor discovers a suitcase, but he left it alone. It doesn't specify.
Okay, wait, okay. Back up for a second. What did you say? Left a what?
A janitor discovered next to a garbage pile a suitcase. That's what I said.
Okay, it sounded like you said left a lung. I thought that...
That's because I started to talk about the body part, but I didn't mean to.
Wait, did he actually find was there actually a lung? Okay, go on.
So on May 25th, a janitor discovers a suitcase. It doesn't specify how many days later, but it wasn't picked up that day. Apparently, somewhere in between, the janitor discovers that Juan Lin's torso is in that suitcase, decomposing.
Oh, boy.
It was left in a garbage pile behind an apartment building in the Snowdon area of Montreal. It had not been picked up on the 25th because there was too much garbage that day. Police searched the scene. They found human rings, I'm assuming that the torso, bloody clothes, and papers identifying him as Juan Lin, as well as sharp and blunt instruments in the back alley. This is where Luka dumped all of that shit. This is where I talked about he went 4 to 8 times, like a suspicious amount of times with no body parts found to the area.
Man, what the fuck? I don't even know what to say. I can't even joke about this anymore. What the fuck, bro?
Police searched Magnotta's apartment. They found blood on different items, including his mattress, his refrigerator, the table, and the bathtub.
That's right. He did it in his own apartment. Holy shit. Oh, what a fucking idiot.
And there's a very famous graffiti / quote, not very famous, but like famous for the story that was written in there. Do you want to take a guess at what this referenced?
Okay, where was it?
I think it was in his closet. Yes, it was in his closet, written in red ink. Really on the nose.
Red rum?
Not that on the nose. It was an actual quote. If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror. I don't care.
God, this fucking dipshit.
I think he thought he ate with that line.
He was, okay, this is what makes a murderer, is somebody who is like deeply fucking insecure, but just barely self-conscious enough to realize they're insecure.
This is separate to that. One of these days we do need to cover Stephen Avery, because I guarantee you, regardless of your opinion on that case, you're going to be furious of how that case turned out. Like, whether you decide he's innocent or guilty in that case, no matter how I present it, you're going to be furious with that case. 2, you're exactly on point. This is how you make a murder. They were able to confirm on the 30th that all the body parts that they found belonged to Junlin.
Oh, man. What a fucking freak. I don't think it's pronounced Wanlin either. I was thinking Juan.
There was a note with the package that was sent to the Conservative Party saying there had been 6 body parts distributed and that the perpetrator would kill again.
Of course he would.
They found 3 other packages but did not disclose their contents. Law enforcement. They were worried about copycat killers. You're going to hate him even worse after this.
I don't know if I can. This guy's already a fucking loser.
So we've accounted for 4 of the 6 packages he's talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's number 5. On June 5th, a package containing the right foot was delivered to St. George School. I'm trying to find out what kind of school it was, like what age group.
Yeah. We're on the same wavelength here. Was this an elementary school?
It's a full school. It's a K through 12.
Okay, that.
And you're gonna hate him even more because the right hand was delivered to False Creek Elementary School.
This fucking loser. Oh my fucking god. This attention-seeking fucking piece of shit.
It doesn't tell me directly, but like the area covers like kindergarten to 12. So I imagine like here in America, kindergarten is like 4 years old to 6th grade, right? I'm imagining it's somewhat similar in Canada. This was in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah. I had a friend in high school who, the reason he was in Oklahoma was his dad worked in the oil industry, but he was Canadian. He spent his childhood in Canada, and when I was
I literally didn't know about this, and again, this is Wikipedia, so don't take it too close to heart. I genuinely didn't know about this part.
ooh boy,
Some of the packages were wrapped in pink tissue paper, and one of them had a note saying, "Roses are red, violets are blue. The police will need dental records to identify you, bitch."
God, this guy thought that he was so fucking cool. This guy thought that he was so cool.
Yeah.
God, I hate this guy. God, and you know what sucks is the fact that I hate him is just him winning. He's glad that people hate him. I hate that.
Yeah, this is what he wanted. On July 1st, they recovered June Lin's head in Montreal's, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, ANGRIGOGNO Park.
On green.
Arlington?
On green.
On green. After an anonymous tip, $5 says it was Magnotta.
Oh, God, I hate this guy so much.
On the 31st of May, the Interpol issued a red notice for him.
Man, I bet he loved that shit. Like, oh, fuck, Interpol's on my ass now. This is so fucking cool.
He gets to Paris, where they trace his phone to Baglonet. It is a suburb of Bagnolet. Baglonet?
It sounds like Bonnelet. Or Bonnelet.
Let's go with Bonnelet. They traced his phone to Bonnelet, but he had left by the time police arrived. They found porn mags and a air sickness bag in his motel room.
Oh, I bet he was doing some, like, autoerotic asphyxiation type shit with that bag, wasn't he?
I don't know. Sometimes jet lag can cause air sickness after the fact. He booked the name under Kirk.
Yeah. If after flying on a plane you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, please contact a physician.
I didn't need that joke in my head, sir. He booked the room under Kirk Trammell using a fake passport. Apparently, he already had contacts in Paris because he had visited in 2010. He used a Eurolines bus to get to Berlin. On June 4th, he was apprehended by Berlin police at an internet cafe. I know this is not the correct pronunciation, but this is just the way my I've watched too much internet brain rot works. I watched too much anime internet brain rot works. Nakolin. It's Neuko with an umlaut LLN.
Neukölln.
Neukölln. Okay. District, where he was reading news stories about himself.
Yeah, that's the typical, like, murderer type. That's a murderer shit. Like, you gotta. It's not enough to do the killing. You have to.
It is, but it fucking pisses me off how like fucking like sucking his own dick he was.
God, I hate this guy. Yeah, he's such a piece of shit.
He half-heartedly tried to give some fake names, but fingerprints confirmed who he was. The next day, he appears before the Berlin court, and he did not oppose his own extradition, and he agreed to just simplify the process. He was delivered to Canadian authorities on June 18th. Wow, that's fucking weird. They have that airplane that he flown on. He was flown aboard a Royal Canadian Air Force CC-150 Polaris. Mirabel, Mirabel, Mirabel,
Mirab.
Mirabelin or Mirabelin, one of those two, just north of Montreal. He had an escort from the military because they were worried about safety concerns because he was using a commercial flight.
Yeah.
He immediately got placed into solitary confinement at Riviere de Paris.
Yeah, if he had done this like 30 years before, he'd just have gone to Cuba. He would have just hijacked a plane and gone to Cuba.
Magnotta's crime was widely reported in China.
Oh, yeah, I can believe it.
It was initially believed this is racially motivated. Some Chinese really questioned whether they would be safe if they went to Canada.
The answer is no, you won't.
Actually, it was the second high-profile murder of a Chinese student there in just slightly over a year. Their foreign affairs minister called the Chinese ambassador to apologize.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck else you do. Yeah, our country produces a lot of fucking freaks. I'm sorry, your people aren't safe in our country.
On June 4th, which was I think was when Magnotta was arrested in Berlin. The current Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, sucked off the police forces and congratulated them on apprehending him.
Yeah.
The interim Liberal Party leader, Bob Rae, said that Canadians should mourn the victim but not celebrate Magnotta.
Accurate, yeah.
On June 6th, Lynn's family arrived in Montreal. The Chinese Students and Scholars Association of Concordia University started a fund to handle the expenses that that Lynn's family would incur, and they held a vigil in Montreal for him. Do you want to know why we want to say fuck the Canadian press?
Oh boy, did they do a whole bunch of profiles of this guy's background to try and paint him as a victim?
No, this was after the murder that had nothing to do with the actual this was specifically about Magnotta.
Oh, tell me.
He was named Canadian Newsmaker of the Year by the Canadian Press.
Canadian Newsmaker of the... What the fuck kind of title is that?
I don't fucking know, brother. But what the fuck?
What the fuck kind of... These fucking freaks, I swear to fucking God.
You know what? This is not my episode to declare it, but that sounds like a fucking shot to me.
Fuck these guys. I fucking hate the press. Holy shit.
You got your shot ready?
I wasn't expecting to take another one tonight.
I wasn't either, but that pissed me the fuck off.
Alright, prost.
Cheers. So on June 19th, Luka appeared via video link to plead not guilty to all his charges. On the 21st, he appeared in person to request a trial by jury. I think that is his worst mistake. He should have requested non-jury, no matter what. His crimes, if he gets a jury, he's fucked.
Mm-hmm. Right.
March 11th of 2013, preliminary hearing. There is a publication ban. His defense team requests the media and the public be barred. Denied same day. The victim's father travels from China to attend the hearing. 2 days later, on the 13th, one of his lawyers resigns due to a possible conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest? What the fuck?
It does not specify the conflict of interest.
The fuck kind of conflict? What is going on in the background there that the lawyer has a conflict of interest?
It literally just moves past that.
What the fuck?
Again, I'm using a little bit of like I'm relying heavily on Wikipedia at this point. I apologize, Derek, but like, especially with that story time we just had outside of this, both Luka and the victim's father physically collapsed at different times in the proceedings.
Physically collapse? What does Luka have to physically collapse about?
He's a twink. They don't need much. On April 12th, he's officially indicted on first-degree murder. The trial lasted 12 weeks. 10 of those were just testimony. The jury consisted of 8 women and 4 men. The final instructions were read on December 15th of 2014, so like 2 years later, and they had been sequestered. After 8 days of deliberation, they resulted in a guilty verdict. On all charges, they decided on a life sentence with a mandatory of 25 years before eligibility parole. His ancillary charges got him 19 years, but they were served concurrently, so they might as well not have given that. He filed an appeal under verdicts are unreasonable and unsupported, but withdrew it on February 18th, 2015. So the following is like a really like fast and like loose interpretation of his mental health diagnosis is within the court. He has one independent diagnosis from Dr. Roy that he has a BPD with histrionic traits, HISTRIONITC. Histrionic traits.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is histrionic? What the fuck is histrionic, Derek?
Histrionic is an old diagnosis they used to diagnose women that had mental breakdowns because of all of the sexism they were suffering from. And it was a way to say that yeah, women are
sexism.
Yeah, it's the sexism. Yeah, he's like, it was a way to say that like, yeah, this woman is having a mental breakdown because she's a woman and her brain is weak.
Also had a diagnosis of BPD by Dr. Paris that was employed by the Canadian government. He had antisocial personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder by Dr. Chamberlain, also employed by the Canadian government. Dr. Alfred diagnosed him as paranoid schizophrenic. That was hired by the defense. Dr. Watts diagnosed him as schizophrenic, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and paraphilia. What the fuck is that? An experience of reoccurring intense sexual attraction to atypical objects, places, situations, fantasies, or behaviors or individuals.
So he's sexually attracted to like weird, outlandish shit.
Weird shit. Yeah, basically. Dr. Barth also diagnosed him as paranoid schizophrenic. So he had one independent, two diagnoses from the Canadian government, and 3 that his defense team procured for him. So the schizophrenia is the most like agreed upon. Prosecution revealed that Magnotta was on illegal drugs during his teenage years.
Unsurprising.
Which may have mimicked schizophrenia and had been diagnosed with BPD by the Crown in 2012. Wow. So you know how I mentioned Chamberlain? He was the third one I mentioned, and he gave the most diagnosis. He never fucking even interviewed Magnotta. Like, he never spoke to Magnotta.
Okay, so we could safely throw that one out.
Dr. Giles Chamberlain, another Crown expert who had not been able to interview Magnotta, suggested that Magnotta showed signs of antisocial, histrionic, and narcissistic personality disorder. He testified that Magnotta's actions at the time of the murder were best explained by histrionic personality disorder. The prosecution accused Magnotta of pretending to be schizophrenic. The prosecution accused Magnotta of pretending to be schizophrenic since his defense predicated on diminished responsibility due to alleged schizophrenia, and noted that a number of psychiatrists over the years found Magnotta displayed antisocial, personality, histrionic, and narcissistic personality disorder traits.
Yeah, so it sounds like the histrionic diagnosis is, I'm not exactly sure. I think that's just like a nervous disorder. But like the schizophrenic thing, I think is.
I think he's very solidly, like, I don't know if schizophrenia is the exact one, but like it's probably the closest we can get with what we know about him and with the way he tinged everything he told people.
Maybe, but like the bipolar thing is the thing I think is the most prominent, because
I disagree. My father was diagnosed as bipolar, and the way he and Luka have like interacted in these things are night and day. So either Luka is completely not bipolar, or my father is not bipolar.
Not bipolar. I was thinking of the narcissistic. That was what I was thinking of.
He does display huge narcissistic personality disorder traits.
I think he did what he did because he was an attention seeker. I do think it was just narcissism. That's what it sounds like to me.
I would generally agree. Like it's very generally I can agree with narcissism as the final trait. Like I agree. So at the end of the 12-week trial, which only 10 of them were testimony, they found a decision on December 15th, 2014. Luka was sentenced to a mandatory life sentence, and this is Canada, so it's slightly different, but like very similar to American. He had a life sentence and will be eligible after 25 years of parole. I think I mentioned that earlier. In America, life sentence with eligibility parole, I think, is exactly 20.
Yeah, I don't think Canada doesn't have like a life sentence without parole, do they?
I don't know. I haven't looked that far into Canada's.
Yeah, I think life sentence without parole is a uniquely American thing.
I would not be surprised if that's uniquely American, but like, why not at that point just sentence them to
just throw away the key.
Like death. Like either no parole, death.
I seriously doubt that Canada has the death sentence. Not gonna lie.
That's something I don't know. I want to look that up real quick.
If they do, it's very surprising.
They abolished it on December 10th, 1998.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because that was right around the time, like the mid to late 90s was right around when most Western countries were abolishing it. Meanwhile, the United States was like expanding it.
I know we've talked about this. I can't remember how much has gotten like into the public eye part of the podcast, because we've gotten to parts but it just doesn't make sense to give to the public. But I genuinely don't think we should have the death penalty at least as available as we do today. I do think it does play a part, and we should have at least somewhat an option to, for special circumstances, take certain people out away from the population.
Yeah, like my most... Now, here's the thing. Like, a lot of libertarians don't say a lot about the death penalty because they're fucking hypocrites. But if you're being consistent with libertarian values, like my most libertarian belief is that the United States should abolish the death penalty, because I just don't trust the fucking either state government or federal government to take a human life. But yeah, like at the same time, like there are just some people that like shouldn't be around other people.
As someone who thinks that our current system is flawed in the way it gives it out, I think it should be, I don't know the literal exact, but like my exaggerated percentages should be, when we're giving out the death penalty, it should be 0.0001% of our like actual like cases. Like it should be like so rare that 90 to 95% of people can agree this person should be put to death. So, Derek, do you have any final comments on Luka Magnotta and his crimes?
Just that the internet does weird fucking shit to people's brains. Holy God, like it like yeah, 1,000 years ago, this guy would just be like the village outsider, the guy that nobody in the village interacted with.
This guy would have probably been the court jester and actually would have had a decent part of society because he knew he'd be content in that spot. But with the intricacies of modern society, he could not just be a court jester.
Right. And just the internet gives people opportunities to be the worst versions of themselves. And we haven't really come to terms with that fact.
Facts upon facts. I cannot agree more. So, Derek, where can they find you on social media?
I'm glad this guy is out of the public eye, but once again, this is a case of like modern society and modern technology has failed the human race. But yeah, that's they can find me on Twitter at Visigoth. The first I is one, the O's is hero. I've been spending a lot less time on Twitter recently since the election.
We're saying fuck you to Twitter, and the only reason we're on there is because we feel like we kind of have to share shit, and that's about it.
But you can find me on Blue Sky, where I've been on a lot. Blue Sky is so fucking nice.
It's actually improved so much recently.
Yeah, since they've gotten a lot more people, because Blue Sky doesn't have an algorithm the same way other websites do. They have you can just curate what you see because they just have tags. So whatever hashtag you want to follow, you can just pin that to the top of your timeline and just move to that and look at whatever it is that you want. So whenever I want to doom scroll about politics, I've got that tag that I can go and look at. And if I'm not in the mood for that, I just move over to my Warhammer miniatures and I can go see some nicely painted Sons of the Phoenix or Nurgle Demons or something like that. And it's very nice and I very much like it. But yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky at Visigoth. The first I is an I, the O is a 0. Tim, where can they find the podcast stuff?
Well, first of all, they can find me at Tim, aka Otis, both on Twitter and Blue Sky. Even before all this bullshit with the election, I wasn't on Twitter a whole lot. I'm probably going to be on there less, but they can also find the podcast at the Alexander Society Pod on Facebook and Instagram, and they can find us on Alex Society Pod on Twitter and Blue Sky, and Alexander Society Pod on TikTok. And if they've enjoyed this episode, they can find us on their streaming platform of choice, and we shall see you next time. If you've liked this, please give us a rate and review.
Bye.